So one of the topics that comes up pretty often, and I'll just turn to Ashley, is borrowing bad?
No, no, it's not.
I'm guessing there's some elaboration that we could get to
Yeah,
on that.
absolutely.
Well, I guess one of the main factors I think about when talking about borrowing money, I feel like has to be interest rate.
Yeah, and that's gotten obviously a little more challenging in today's environment where, used to be we would look at a mortgage at 3 or 4%. The portfolio is maybe going to earn 7, 8, 9, and you really got a easy decision to make about whether to say pay cash for a home versus finance it.
Right. So, as you're helping a client evaluate maybe paying cash or getting a mortgage, what are some considerations there?
Right. So, I mean, the rate for sure, and that obviously changes month to month. So, we would want to know kind of where we're looking at in terms of the rate, composition of the portfolio, kind of expected return, which again is anyone's guess. So, we'd certainly model it out. I'd say one of the bigger considerations in today's interest rate environment is what does it look like to pull a large portion of the
Right.
portfolio out to pay cash? Does that derail the plan? Are we running into, maybe some less than ideal scenarios in terms of cash flow planning versus even taking a mortgage at, a higher rate than perhaps we'd like and having a smoother and gradual drawdown to cover that?
Right. So the difference between taking $500,000 out at one
Right.
time or paying 3 or 4 thousand dollars a month.
Exactly.
Okay. And I guess one of the other things that clients ask about borrowing money for is automobile purchase. And I know that those rates are not very attractive either. But I'm guessing there are some exceptions that might be available in the marketplace.
Yeah, and I think that's where it really does pay to shop around. Obviously, depending on what make and model, what dealership. I have seen some pretty attractive promotional rates out there today, kind of depending on where you want to be. Sometimes with autos, though, it can make more sense to pay cash. Obviously, not as big of a purchase as a
Right.
home, but again, it really comes down to specifics and looking at how that purchase fits into the overall picture.
So if you're looking to buy maybe a used car and the rates are 7, 8%
Yeah.
versus, I guess still there are manufacturers that offer their own kind of internal.
Internal, very low
Okay.
financing. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And then, you know, what about, I know a lot of our clients use credit cards for
Mhm.
purchases and pay them off at the end of the month. Are there some ways that credit cards can be a valuable financial tool?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you're able to find some of these rolling 0% interest cards, if you've got a short term need to, fund a large purchase and want to, pay it off over time, that can again be a really valuable tool.
Right. I guess again, the consideration of, do I take a lump sum out of the portfolio, or is it easier to pay it back at no interest over a
Exactly.
certain
And the
period?
term of that as well, just keeping in mind how long are we going to have the money out of the portfolio for.
Gotcha. Okay. Again, not an exhaustive discussion of the topic. We're happy to answer more questions. Please reach out.